Hey everyone, it is Jack again with Toy Dojo, and today we're going to be taking a look at the FansToys FT-10 Phoenix, or their take on a masterpiece Skyfire, or Jetfire, whichever way you want to call them. Now I know it's been a while since you guys have heard from me. I haven't really been replying to a lot of the messages that you guys have been leaving on the other videos. As some of you may know, if you've watched my videos, I've been saying on the past few videos that I was going to be moving. And I've done that in my new place. I moved from San Antonio, Texas up to, right now I'm in Arlington, Texas. Moved up here for work. And so I'm kind of settled in right now. So got this bad boy in and I've been excited, been waiting for him to come out and wanting to take a look at him. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at him right now. Now I'm going to try and keep him in frame as best as possible, especially transforming him, but he is a big dude. And so that may be impossible. So please, I'm going to apologize right now. Forgive me for that and excuse me, but I'm going to try my best. So looking at him, he's an awesome looking figure. Really cool. Right off the bat, I like how you can put the finger inside the little trigger area right there on the gun. Just really, really cool looking. And huge. Like I said, really big figure. So before we do anything else, I'm going to measure him with my little measuring tape here. Then we're going to do some size comparisons on him, and then we're going to go into just him by himself as far as like articulation, all that kind of stuff. So pulling out my little tape measure here, from the floor to the top of his head, he's about 14 inches, and then about 15 inches to the, let me pull this back here. That'll look better right there. Probably get a better look. So about 14 to the head and 15 to the back of the backpack there, to the top of the backpack. So really big figure overall. And size comparisons, I also forgot to say, which I'm sure you saw it already if you noticed the little thumbnail, but I'm going to be comparing him to the Daca Toys Kronos. And we're going to take a look at both of them in detail, see what you think is better for your collection. If you have Kronos, do you need to get rid of him and pick this guy up? Spoiler alert, yes you do. Kronos needs to go. You need to get this guy. We'll talk about why. But so we're going to compare them as well, and just kind of go through our normal routine. So size comparison wise, let's first bring in Masterpiece Starscream, because obviously they were scientists together, and this is my Hasbro version Starscream. So looking at him, I think that's a great scale. Starscream was obviously a lot smaller than him. Jetfire, Skyfire, whatever you want to call him, I'm going to call him Phoenix. He's always been a lot bigger. He was one of the biggest Autobots, without getting into like Omega Supreme and the Combiners and all that kind of stuff. So huge, huge guy. And so that's the right scale for him. And here he is next to MP10. And again, that's about the right scale for him. It's just crazy how big he is and how awesome he looks, next to these two guys right here. Let's see, who else do I got? I have Masterpiece Hot Rod. So there he is next to Hot Rod. Hot Rod doesn't even come up to his waist. It comes a little bit past his knees there. So there he is next to him. A large bot, I'm going to bring in Masterpiece Ultra Magnus, and I'm going to pull Starscream off for right now. So there's Ultra Magnus, who essentially is a huge bot, but even he is dwarfed by Skyfire there, or Phoenix. So that looks cool together. Let's see, who else do I have here? I have a few more, and then we're going to bring in Kronos. I'm going to pull these guys out real quick. And I'm going to pull you off too, Magnus. I have another FansToys item here. This is Stomp. One of their Dinobots, which again was a large figure. But again, even he looks small compared to Phoenix there. There's one of their little Insecticons. And he is super tiny compared to them. So there you are, some FansToys stuff. So again, just to show you the size comparison, just how large this guy is. And then we're going to pull in the oversized MP10. And when we bring him in next to him, even he looks dwarfed next to Phoenix. And that's the oversized MP10. So that's a large one, and Phoenix is still huge. So just to kind of give you an idea, again, just how large it is. I know I'm showing a lot of bots, but I'm just trying to, you know, pick some things that maybe everybody that's watching might have. This is not a masterpiece, but it is a big bot from back in the day. Here is Unicron. So next to Unicron, and I have Unicron standing straight up in a straight pose. Unicron is maybe a hair taller at the head right there. Maybe actually, you know, they're probably right at the same height. Head to head, they look about the same height. So again, just to show you, if you have Unicron or you've seen that one in person, you know how big this figure is. He's the exact same height as that. So huge figure. Pull Unicron out of the way. I'm going to bring in Kronos. So here is Kronos. And I used to have Kronos. And then I heard he was going to be coming out, and I got rid of him, and I'm glad I did. Because after messing with him, and then messing with him, I'm like, wow, big difference. When I had mine, I didn't transform him. I took him straight out of the box, put him on the shelf, and he stayed just the way he is like that. And so I never really messed with it. But now that I sat here and I was transforming it to get used to it, I transformed it and I was like, wow, this thing is horrible. Like the transformation was fiddly, a lot of sliding and loose pieces. Just the Kronos just didn't feel very good. Plastic quality as well was inferior compared to what FansToys is. The plastic quality on Kronos felt very thin and cheap. This back piece right here, it feels very, it's weird. It's just a weird kind of a plastic, like a dollar store kid toy plastic, if I can describe it anyway. So looking at them, this one I used to think was a big figure, and I used to think he scaled well with MP10. But we can see now Kronos is a lot bigger than, Phoenix is a lot bigger than Kronos. And I think Phoenix actually is better scaled than Kronos is compared to MP10. So again, that's going to be your personal preference. Mine is his scale over here on the left. But taking a look at these two guys, just kind of looking at them side by side, they're very similar in terms of the way they look. They're, you know, they're made to look like Jetfire. So they're white, red, and then they got some blues in them. So let me get his gun down. One thing I will say right off the bat, he can hold his gun. This guy never could. I remember mine was the same way. You pick his gun up, and it would always fall down. Mine was the exact same way, so I would have to like pick mine up, kind of like that, in order to get him to hold his gun. But I could never get him to hold his gun straight because his arm would always fall down. So that was one of the negatives. So let's get these guys looking at them together. Yeah, let's pull off, and don't fall, Kronos. Let's pull off these guns. I want to take a look at these guns real quick first. Come on. So the guns, they're both double barrel blasters, the way he had them. Now the one thing, I do like this gun here. It's a large gun. It's really neat. I like, again, how you can put the finger inside there. But I wish they would have went with a gray, because in the cartoon, Skyfire always did have a gray blaster. He didn't have a black one. And so if they went with a gray one instead of a black one on the FansToys one, I think that would have been better. So, but you know, it's a minor detail, I guess. So those are the guns there. And let me kind of get up here. Looking at the faces of the both of them, I do like the FansToys face better. I think we look at Kronos here, he looks like, I don't know, like he needs to eat a cheeseburger, or let me see if I can get into that. Yeah, or like a Energon burger or 10, because he's like super bony on the face. Like, I didn't realize it until looking at these two side by side that he looks like super bony in the face. And Phoenix, his face looks really good. I like the way they did the eyes on him. They have, and then FansToys always does that with the eyes on the figure. So it's like a chrome blue, and it looks really nice. I think it looks super cool compared to the blue coloring over here. So for me, I think the head on Phoenix looks better than it does on Kronos. Let me zoom out here. Color-wise as well, this is like a dark red right here, whereas this one's more like of an orangey red. You got some nice translucent blues here. You got this, which is not so much, you know, the translucent. It's kind of translucent, but like a darker one right there. Down here, going further down, Now, FansToys, for some reason on this one, they went with like a metallic kind of a chrome red right here. I don't know, that's different from the rest of it. So I don't know if that's going to be final or if that's something they did for the test shot. I have no idea, but I do like that color there. But I think if they're going to do that, they should have did it with the whole thing, make it look uniform throughout. So, all right, the issues with Kronos that I've seen, and mine had the shoulders. The shoulders would always pop out of place right here, like this thing would always open up, and the shoulders would fall out. And so that was one of the issues I had with Kronos on mine. And if you have Kronos, let me know if yours are the same way. Sometimes these chest pieces pop out as well. They wouldn't stay in too well. We already talked about the arm, how it will stay up, but when you put the gun in, it would just kind of droop down like that. What else was there? Also, too, right here, some of these were breaking right down here. This piece down here, well, a lot of folks was breaking, but this one's not. And mine, I never messed with mine, so mine didn't break. Like I said, I took mine out of the box and I just put it away, and I never messed with it after that until I sold it, and I put it back in the box and sold it. So I will say the one thing that Kronos has, he has a lot of nice, like, I guess, like detailing. You can see, let me zoom in if I can here. We can kind of see where he has like a lot of nice like detailing done just throughout, molded detailing everywhere. On his waist, on his arms, on the upper arms right there as well, up on the chest. So a lot of nice detailing was given to him right there. Over on Kronos, not so much. He doesn't have a whole lot of detailing. He's got some nice paint apps, but as far as like detailing to where there's like line details, he doesn't have a whole lot. So, you know, that's, I don't know, is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? I guess only you can make the decision. For me, it's not a big deal. But it does look a little bit better, I guess, over here with all the detailing. But that's about it as far as, like, you know, what looks better on him. Everything else looks kind of disgusting, if I'm being honest. The feet look better on Kronos. The back looks better on Kronos. Let me see, there's that out, right? Yeah, flip those out. So I think the back looks better on Kronos. I don't know, what do you guys think? That's what I think there. And then again, just overall quality of Kronos. I keep saying Kronos. The feet look better on Phoenix. Everything I said looked better. I meant to say Phoenix, not Kronos. I don't know why I had him on the brain. But everything looks better on this guy than on this guy over here. So I'm going to get him out of the way because these are starting to get on my nerves. So pull him off to the side there. Let's talk about Phoenix. So with Phoenix, let's kind of go into articulation. And again, I'm going to try and stay on frame here, but it may be kind of hard. So if I do get off frame, I apologize. I'll be checking every so often. But the head, it's on an up and down kind of swivel joint here like this. He can look up really well. He can't really look down because he's got a large chest and he doesn't look down too well. So he's got that. Head goes all the way around in circles. Well, actually, not all the way around. I lied. Well, no, it does if you pick his chin up. He came with some accessories too. So this is an extra logo right here, and I'm guessing you can put like an Autobot logo there and a Decepticon logo here, or you can leave this one just white and then put an Autobot logo on there. Because I know, like in the cartoon, a lot of times in his plane mode, he wouldn't have. This is going to be the cockpit area. That he wouldn't have a logo on here. Sometimes he did, but more often than not, there was no logo. So you can leave that there just white, and then when he's in his robot mode, you can transfer it to one that has a logo on it. And then these are just extra eyes right here that you can put on. That'll have some light piping here, these blue eyes. So if you want to do that, you can. I will stick with this one here because I think that looks better. And then he comes with, and I already put it on my Soar stand. So this is my stand for Soar. And it comes with this little piece here. He comes with this little piece right here. At least this test shot did. It came with this right here. And so all I did was I took these two screws out right here. And I took off the old stand piece, which was this one here. And this one goes for Soar. I took it off and I replaced it with this one here. So we'll see what he looks like on this stand when he's in his plane mode there. So I don't know if he's going to come with this stand right here, or if you're going to have to keep swapping them out between the two. So that I don't know. I guess we'll see when the final one comes out. But it would be neat if they included an extra stand, because You know, if you have Sword in his dinosaur mode, you want him on a stand. If you have him in his plane mode, you want him on a stand. So you can't do that if you only have one stand. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, so that's that. Back to articulation here. The shoulders, they go all the way up and they have nice clickety ratchets like that. Nice ratchets going forwards as well. You've got an upper bicep swivel like this. This is on a single joint, but you can bend it all the way up, make it look like it's double jointed right there. And that folds away this little piece here. You can see it kind of folded away there. But that folds back out when you do that, just to make this even right there. The hands, they rotate. They also bend outwards on the wrist right there. And the hands are really neat. I like the way these hands came out. I think FansToys are doing a lot better on the hands. So these hands are all individually articulated. The fingers are, I should say. They're pinned right through the center, which is neat because that gives you a good, they're not going to pop off. And then they're also, they pivot in and out right here. You can see there's a hinge right there. Let me zoom in a little bit. So there's a hinge right there that you can see. So that way they can kind of like hinge back and forth. And then they're all articulated right there at each joint. So that's neat as well. And these are just good looking hands. I like these hands. Okay, the one thing that I heard and a lot of the reviewers that have reviewed this figure have said they heard too, is that there's a waist articulation of some sorts. I could not find it at all. Nobody's been able to find it. So if it comes out with the final one, maybe in the instructions, that'll be great. But as it is now, there is none, and I'll tell you why. So if we look at the back here, you can see, so right here, this backpack piece is connected there, and it's also connected right here at the top. So there's no way for this to rotate, because if you try and rotate this thing, it's all connected to that backpack. So there's no way it's going to rotate at all. So I don't know how they figure that it's going to have rotation or any kind of articulation, but it doesn't. So that's a negative if you'd like to have rotation on your figures. But then again, he is a large figure, so I don't know that it's necessary. Maybe it is. I'm not one to sit there and put my figures in dynamic poses, so for me it's not a big deal, but I know a lot of you guys probably like to do that with your figures, and so that may be an issue with you. Let's see. Coming down here to the legs. Now the legs themselves, right here, that's just going to be on a what do you call it? There's no ratchets there, and I think the reason they went with that is because a lot of times when they put ratchets in, sometimes you get a figure and it's got either this or the A stance. And so not having a ratchet there frees it up so you can open it and close it as much as you want. So that's good. It's got a forward ratchet and it's super strong, and a backwards one as well. Super strong, and you can hear that. The knee bends 90 degrees, and that's a nice strong ratchet right there as well. He's got an upper thigh swivel and then a knee swivel as well. Going down here to the bottom of the foot itself does kind of hinge back and forth right there. And the toe does bend in and out if you want to, as well as the heel there. And then on the bottom, he's got some nice thrusters going out the bottom of his foot. So you can imagine he's going to fly away and his thrusters come off and he takes off. So that's neat. I like that. These hinge out side to side. The front ones don't move, so these don't articulate at all. Going on to his back, these fold away right here, so that can fold away. That's mainly for transformations, so that way they look smaller in this mode here. These are the extra fins that came with him. And if you want, you can, you can't fold them in, but if you just pop them off, you can switch them. And so then that way, well, we're gonna do it. Come on. Okay, come on, buddy. Knock it off. Again, it's always something. I tell you guys, it's always something when I do this. Always something just wants to give me a little bit of a hard time. So you can't take those if you want to and just lay them back like that, and that way they fold away. So, but then again, that is, you know, you have to swap them, because realistically, if we try to put that like that in plane mode, they don't open up that much. They open up that much there. So just take them off, put them back to where they're supposed to be. There we go. All right, let me see what else. I think that's it. He's got, like I said, a lot of nice detailing. He's got detailing inside here as well. Some nice like gunmetal gray right there. on either side of the inside of the leg there. Nice translucent red plastic here with some detailing back there. The cockpit opens up like that. You can see there's some chromed out seats right there. So really neat. I like that. And I think that's it. We're gonna go ahead and get into transformation. And again, I'm gonna try and keep this all on camera, but if it gets off camera, I apologize. So first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start right here with the hands. So we take the hands and you wanna put the thumb down like this, and then the fingers, you wanna get them and you wanna fold them in, and you want the tips of the fingers to be folding in the inside of the palm. So essentially it's gonna look like this. Try and do that all the way in. That way it makes up into like a nice little fist. Do the same thing on the other side. Close that up, make that into a fist. Like that. Then open this up back here. And when you put this fist in, you want to have the fingers pointing just like that, the way they are. So the fingers are going to be pointing towards where the screw holes are, like that. Take that, fold that down like that, and that's going to hide away very well inside there. Close this up like this. And again, this is the way I'm transforming it. He didn't come with instructions, as you guys I'm sure are aware. So how I do it may be different from the way the instructions do it, may be different from the way you want to do it. So I'm just showing you how the way I'm doing it. So that closes up like that. And then we're going to take these, we're going to rotate these out like this, rotate this out like that, so that we have the screw holes. Now they're going to be facing forward. And that's another issue. Okay, so forgot to mention this, but another thing is on his forearms, he's got a whole lot of screws going on here. That's not a screw, that's like a detailing there. But he's got a whole lot of screws, so hopefully, you know, we can get some sticker covers to cover this up so we don't see a lot of these screws. But anyways, we're going to get that kind of just situated right there. And then I want to go ahead and start breaking away this backpack piece here. So in order to get the head piece off, you just want to take this piece right here, grab the backpack, and just kind of give it a tug. Give it a tug. There you go. And that's going to break that whole piece off like that. Now, when you go to put this thing, if you're going to go back from from plane to robot mode, you want to take this, and the only way you can kind of get that on, again, I don't know if it's right or not, but that's the way I'm doing it. Kind of, so that peg goes in that slot right there. That's right there. So you kind of get that and line it up. And then once you have it kind of sitting on there, you just push all this together into the front, and it's going to lock back into place, and it's going to tab right back into this top right there. So that's where you get it on, then get it off again, just kind of pull. And you can probably pull at the head, actually, if you want to. Grab the head right here on either side of the head here, and just kind of pull that backwards a little bit. There you go. That'll break that off. It's probably easier that way. So do that. You take the head, spin it around like so, and then we're going to go ahead and just start breaking apart all this. So we're going to open up the crotch area right here, and we can take this and flip this out. Flip these two pieces up here, down here. Flip these two pieces up like this. Those are going to fold to the back. Fold to the back like that. And we're taking this whole piece like this. And on this right here, you want to take this piece out that's right here, flip that down. That's going to feed all the way through there, so that way it covers up this hole that's right here. Just kind of bend that. We're just going to kind of get that out of the way just for right now. Get that out of the way like that. And let's just leave this like that for right now. So we're going to start working on the arms, getting them inside the chest. So here, what you want to do is, these are on a sliding mechanism. So you just take the chest, slide it out. And I like that they went here, they went with die-cast metal. That's die-cast right there, and that's better, because if they went with plastic, over time it might have worn out and gotten loose or maybe even broken. So it's a good thing they went with die-cast right there. So you take that on both sides like this. These pieces right here, they're going to flip out. So you can take that and flip them outwards like so, and do the same thing on the other side. Just take it, flip it out like that. And then the arms, you want to take them now, and we're going to collapse them. So we're going to collapse this one into there like that, and collapse this one into there like that. And then we're going to flip these up. And the reason why you want these sitting like that is because when they face in, these got to be facing here, facing on the inside, facing front. And these are the parts that will collapse inside like that. So let's take this, flip this up like this, and just kind of bring it down like so. And we got to get that piece in. So let's flip this up like that. There we go. That's got to stand. There we go. Just push that piece down like that. Flip it up like this, and bring that in like that. Okay. So let's do the same thing on this side here. We want to take that, this piece can go in, so we're going to take that, just kind of flip that in like so. Okay, stand. Now flip this whole thing in like this. That's going to, let me pull that back some, come down and flip inside like that. And so that's essentially how you want it to look like that. Okay, trying to keep it in frame there. So both shoulders are there, screw holes are fixed right there. Then you want to take these pieces here, you're going to rotate these over like this, and these are going to slide in like that. Okay? You slide those in like that, and that's going to lock everything into place right there. Okay. Now, when you come around here, we're going to grab the head. Like I said, we flip the head around, so now he's facing his backpack. Take this piece too, right here, and just flip that down. And take the head, and you're going to want to tuck it away underneath here. So kind of bend that down like that, and tuck that away to where it's like he's looking up at the die-cast pieces right there. Okay? And that's that. So then this piece right here, the one that we folded away inside, you're going to take that, and that little peg is going to sit right inside that little spot right there. So take that, just kind of sit that down like that. Up here on the top, we're going to take this, open this up like this. And let me get down to the bottom there, because he's a big guy. So let's pull this down. Okay, so take this, and you can open this up right here like this. Just pry this open. Use your fingernails. If you don't have fingernails, you probably need to get like a little prying tool or something, but I should be able to get it because I got some fingernails. I don't know how strong they are, but come on. There we go. Okay. So that flips out like that. Okay. Now we're going to take this piece, which can be the nose cone, and flip this section out like so. Flip that up. And then down here on the bottom, flip this over right now. These pieces, you want to get these pieces and flip them out. So you're going to flip out twice. This whole, and this is all die-cast metal, all that's going to flip out twice. So flip out once and then again. So I'm not going to try messing with that with my fingers. I'm going to grab out this little screwdriver here. I'm going to stick it up underneath here and just give it a little pull. So that flips out again once and then again twice like that. Okay? So there you go. There's that. This is going to come down like this. All this is going to come down, and you're going to get these two small tabs are going to go into these slots right here. This one and this one. And the larger ones will go into these two. And then this metal one right there is going to go into this one that's right, sitting right inside there. Okay? So let's go ahead and work on that there. Get that down. Tab all this stuff in like this. Get this tabbed in at the top right here. And then get this tabbed in down at the bottom just like so. Now sometimes this doesn't want to tab in right, so you gotta have to fiddle with it because it doesn't stay tabbed in sometimes. So just kind of sit there and fiddle with it. A lot of it may just be straightening everything out as far as the plane mode goes and making sure everything's tabbed in. And then once you do that, you can get that piece to tab in there. Or so I say. Let's see, no, that didn't do it, that just went on top. Okay, here we go. You were out of frame there, but. So it's that piece right there. You may have trouble getting tabbed in there, but you'll eventually get it. It's no big deal. All right, so next thing we want to do, we can take this, we can fold this piece back up, and that's going to keep this whole thing from like popping off right here. So now the legs, we're going to take them, and we got to pull these down because they're tabbed in, but we got to make them shorter. So we're going to take this, and we're going to pull this piece down just like this, and it should just pop down like that. I'll show you what I mean as far as like the way it tabs in. So, well, actually, let's open this thing back up. Okay, so before we close it down, we got to do the legs. So take that, and then so you see right here, that's where it tabbed in robot mode. It's going to tab into that bottom one for the plane mode. So take that up, flip that up, and then snap that in, and you'll see the difference now. You can see where this one sits higher than this one does. So the same thing over here. Just take this leg, pop it down like this, and then bring that up. And get that pegged into that same spot right there. And if it pops out, just pop it back in. Then you can take this and close that up, and that's going to lock everything into place. Okay. So now he's coming together. All right. So let's focus on the bottom now. We're gonna go to the bottom. We'll do the backpack last. So we take the legs here, and they have, just like the way MP-10 does, they have these little buttons here that you can push to push everything into place. But before we do that though, I wanna work on the feet right here. So the feet, you take this, you open up these two tabs. There's a tab right there, and there's a tab on this side like this. Flip that open like that, and then the feet, you want to get them and fold everything in together, and it's going to collapse in together just like, come on, just like so, and like that, okay? So that's the whole foot. It comes together as one piece like that, and then you're going to take that and just fold everything forward like this, and then this will shut back down like that, and then you just tab these back in. And then now you got this whole piece closed away. Now alternatively, if you wanted to, you could just essentially, let me show you. It's all depending on how you want it to look. That's the right way to do it. But if you wanted to give it maybe extra thrusters while he's in his plane mode, you can leave this out like this and just kind of fold things away a little bit. Let's do this. Kind of fold some stuff away, but leaving it open to where maybe he's got some extra thrusters like that. So kind of fold them away, but not enough to where you kind of leave those thrusters kind of hanging out. So it's up to you. Again, that's not the right transformation. Obviously, the right transformation is the other way. But if you want to have some extra thrusters in plane mode, you can leave it like that. So we're going to leave it like that just for grins, and then I'll show you what it looks like in plane mode. So in the legs, again, just take them, and you're going to collapse them together, or collapse them in. Push that, push it all the way in. Take this one. That these are situated straight, so that way they're not hanging out to the sides. So get that one there, get this one over here. Do the same thing on this side here. Just like so. All right, there we go. Okay, and then the backpack. So on the backpack, you want to raise this piece up like this. Which I'm still in frame there, I think I am. Raise this up like that, and we want to separate this backpack piece right here, okay? So we got to pull these apart, so that way it makes the backpack wider for his plane mode. Let me put this camera down just a little bit so we can kind of see what's going on there. All right, so we're going to take this, and just a little bit at a time, you want to do like the back side and then the front side. That's why I found it easier. Just pull them, and once you got them separated a little bit, you can kind of just pull at the middle here and get everything pulled apart. So you got to give it a good tug, because there are, especially if it's going to be a new one, it's not going to be worked out well. And you can tell when you got it right, just about, because you can start seeing these little half circles here, and that's about right as far as like the way you're going to pull them out. So you can do that, and then now you're going to take this piece here, and this is all going to fold down and sit inside there. Before we do that, we want to yank this piece out like this, like that, and that's going to sit right inside there. Okay, pull that down like that, and let's open these up, and we're going to pull these guys out. So these are supposed to be this way longer for plane mode and shorter for robot mode. So take that down like that, close that up, this will close down like that, and now you got this whole section closed up like this. Then you can pull these out like this, pull this one out like that, and just collapse this into itself like that. Do the same thing on this side like this, collapse that into itself like that. And then on the bottom of these wings here, there are these little pieces here, these little tabs. I'm going to flip these out and open that up. Open that up, that's going to make the wings wider. So take that, open that up like that, open that up like that. And then we want to take this backpack piece, we're going to push this up and lock that into place, or push it down I should say. That's going to lock into place. See the tab right there, we're going to that slot. Just tab all it together like that. And then pull these guys down like this. Pull this one down like this. And there we go. So the last thing we want to do, just because, pull out the landing gear. So the landing gear, flip this up right here, flip this one up, and you got landing gear right inside the knees there. So I'm going to use this thing again because landing gear can be a little bit difficult to get out as well. So I'm just going to put it in there just to give me a little head start and yank it out. Same thing over here. Pull that one out. And there. And that didn't lock into place right. And then down here, pick this one up here. And this landing gear is easier to get out. So pull that like that, and then there we go. So now there he is in his plane mode. And my goodness, this thing is huge. I mean, this is a big plane mode. I mean, seriously, huge plane mode. So, let's show this off. And we'll do some size comparisons, but first I want to just kind of go over him by himself. So, there he is. And from nose cone to back of the tail right there, that is 17 inches. If we go there to there, 17 inches from front to back. So that's a long plane. Even from wingspan as well. And real quick, I'm going to fix this, but I just wanted to show you what I was talking about. So, you know, that's the right way to do it, but you can also have it just to where, you know, your choice. If you want to give them extra thrusters right here, you can make it look like the extra thrusters that are shooting out right there. So, your call. We're going to go ahead and close this up the way it's supposed to be. And just that way we can have them the right way. I just wanted to kind of show you guys that, see what it looks like there. So let's close all this stuff up, fold that down like that, close it up, lock that into place, and then we're done. So you can stand them up on this. That's the other thing I like about it too, is because that is the way that is, you can stand them up essentially like that on the back of his legs there. And then wingspan, if we're looking at the wingspan, if we have the wings straight out like this, that wingspan is going to run you about 17 and a half inches right there from tip to tip straight out. Now if you have them down and that's straight out like that, well, let's see, actually that's probably straight out. Let's see if it's a little bit more. It still might be 17 and a half. Let's see, actually 18. So if we go there, that's 18 inches right there across. That's a huge wingspan. So he's really cool looking jet. I mean, really nice. I really like this jet mode. I think it's really neat. I'll lock this in right there. Then we'll lock in right. They'll come out. So really, really good looking. I'm going to put him up in a stand right now, and then we can talk about him. So the stand, like I showed you guys, I put it on my store stand. So when we take this, we're going to plug this in. You want to make sure that his head is not sitting flush up against that, because you need to have a little bit of room. So just kind of make sure that his head is pulled back just a little bit. I'm going to use this just to kind of give it some room. Because what you're going to want to do is this right here, that gap is going to sit on either side of these two here that came together when you put the arms together. Okay, so that's what's going to hold it. So take that and just situate that. And you want to have it to where this piece here that's kind of like more slanted in, that's going to go where the head is because it's going to give enough clearance. And this part that's a little bit bigger is going to go into the front there. Just take that and slide that in like that, and then there he goes onto a stand. Now, if the stand doesn't come pre-assembled, or if we have to use the source stand, I will tell you, when you take these screws out, make sure you tighten them a lot, because I didn't tighten them, and the thing was like wonk, and it like went that way. So I was like, oh man. So I had to really tighten those screws pretty well, because again, he's really heavy because of all the die casts. Let me put this landing gear away. All right. Okay, so make sure that's in there tight. Okay. And then there he is. Well, come on. Get in there, buddy. You were just doing just fine a minute ago. There we go. Okay. And he's kind of hard to get into frame here, but I'm going to try. Hang on a second. Okay. So getting him into frame here is a big of a challenge. I had to pick up my camera here in my hand. But you can see just how big he is. He's huge. He's a huge plane, and he looks cool too. Like, nothing is showing here. There's no gaps really right there. It looks really neat. The back of him is really nice as well. You can see there that everything's hidden very well right here. There's a gap between the legs, but it's not that bad. It's not that bad of a gap right there. These you can use as like, so the one thing I wish they will fix, or I wish they would add, is maybe just like a small little ball right there would be good. So that way these have better friction together. So that way they stay together a little bit better. Because as it is right now, they're easily, you know, come down. Maybe it's just because this one's an early, or rather a test shot. But, you know, if they would have put something there to keep some friction, I think that would have been better. So there he is right there, looking good. And you can, and I'm going to pick this up a little bit. you can open this cockpit up right here and reveal some chromed out seats right there, so that's neat. This doesn't open up, but you know, it is what it is. The gun I found you can store if you want to. It looks kind of silly, I guess, but it's got this peg right here, and if you want to, you can take it and you can peg it in right here, right there, and kind of have that sticking out the back like that. So probably not the best use for it. For me, if it comes with my stand, I'm going to take it if I have them in jet mode, which I probably have them in robot mode, but I'll just take it and store it down here where Swoop's weapons normally go. They normally sit in these peg holes. Now, it's not going to fit in there perfectly because this peg is too small, but you can just get it and sit it in there. And, how did I have that thing? Maybe it was on this side. I had it on that side because I had it. Let's see, there we go. Just sitting right there. I mean, like I said, it's not going to peg in. That'll fall out if I do that. But still, at least on the shelf, it'll sit there and it'll have a place to be. So, up to you how you want to do it. I'm going to take a quick break right now. And when I come back, I'm going to have Kronos in his plane mode. And then we're going to compare the two and then wrap it up. So, we'll be right back. Alright, and we're back. So, we have Phoenix on the left, Kronos on the right. As you can see by looking at them just right there, Phoenix is a lot larger than Kronos is. He's a lot taller, and he's also longer. So we measured Phoenix at 17 inches from back to front. Let's take him off to the side here. And I'm going to bring in Kronos and just show you how he measures up. So going from the back end of the foot there to the front right there is 14 inches. Now I know on the camera it looks like it says 13 and a half. But from right here where I am, it's actually 14. The camera's just playing a different trick on the angle. So Phoenix is 3 inches longer that way. And then looking at the two of them from the front, we can see that Phoenix hides everything very well up here in the front. Everything is hidden very well, looks nice. Over here we can see that you see Kronos' head sticking out right there. He's also got this piece, which is what holds the backpack together, that just kind of floppy mess like that. And then alternatively, I guess you could take this off and leave it to the side, but then you got parts just hanging around. So this here is a little bit too short too, I think, for this. Now in the cartoon, this was always shorter, but I think just because of the size of this plane, this should have been just a little bit longer. This one looks good here. At first I thought it was too long, but it looks good considering how long this jet is here. Looking at them on the sides, we look at Kronos here. Kronos has a lot of gappage issues right here. He's got a lot of gappage up there. This thing here is hollow. The backpack's really hollow. You can see right through it right there. Lots of gaps down in here, all up here on the side there. If we take a look at Phoenix, Phoenix doesn't have that issue. He's solid all the way throughout the side right here. He's got the gap right down inside there, but that's just from where the backpack sits. But as far as in the backpack, it's not hollow. You can't see all the way through like you could with Phoenix. So, I'm sorry, with Kronos. I keep getting the two names mixed up. Also, another thing, I'm going to stand up Phoenix right here. So I want to take a look at the bottom of Phoenix. And that's the thing that I like, is you can stand him up. We talked about that. Let me raise this camera up a little bit so we can see what we're going to look at here. So looking at him right there on the bottom, Phoenix, you can see the shoulders right there. You can see the robot head underneath. But it's not a big deal because it's all hiding underneath the bottom there. You can see the screw holes there. Right there. Hopefully sticker sheets come out. We can get that taken care of. It's not a big deal to me because they're on the bottom of the plane. And so you can see that right there. But over here, this is a lot worse. So if you look at this, you can clearly see, if you want to talk about screw holes, there's a lot of screw holes there. But you can also see just the whole arms right there, the forearms right there. And then the gap right here is, again, like I said, it's not as bad as this one over here. Now this one's a super wide gap. I mean, I can stick my my hand inside there, my whole fist in there, and over here, probably just get like 2 fingers inside there. So you can see the gap difference is substantial. So needless to say, this guy here is losing all kinds of points than this one here. Now talking to a buddy of mine, I remember telling him that, that Phoenix is much better, and he's like, oh, well, when Kronos came out, you said he was the greatest thing, blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, I did say that, only because that was all we had. And I didn't really say it was the greatest thing. I never said it was like the best ever. I just remember saying that it was pretty good. And I told him, I said, though, I think of it like this. You're stuck on an island somewhere. You have no food at all on the entire island. All of a sudden, a can of Alpo dog food washes up on the shore. You get it. It's the greatest thing ever. You're like, wow, food. Even if it's dog food, it's great food. You eat it. You treasure it. Then all of a sudden, a steak comes along. And you're like, what? Why do I need this Alpo for? I got this nice steak with all the fixins. This is the steak with all the fixins here. This is a can of Alpo. Get rid of that can of Alpo and pick this guy up. Plastic quality is just a lot better over here. This is great plastic quality here. This here is cheap. Like I said earlier, reminds me of like a dollar store kid's toy. Plastic quality is garbage. It's really cheap, thin plastic too on the white part here. A lot of pieces when I was transforming it I felt like would break. They didn't. But I know a lot of people, this broke. So I think I mentioned that earlier. This broke. This piece that's inside here broke on a lot of people there. As far as that ankle spot. And then the feet too. You know, as far as for the back, I don't know. I just don't like the way this looks now that we look at the way his is a lot cleaner back here. His looks a lot cleaner. Everything is hidden away very well right here. And then here you got his toe sticking out or the heel spur sticking out on there. So, again, I just think that Kronos ticks a lot of negative boxes, whereas Phoenix ticks a lot of positive boxes. All right, I'm going to pull Kronos out of the way here and bring in Masterpiece Starscream because these two are buddies. Just to show size comparisons with these two guys. I'm going to put Starscream on top right here. And that is about end to end right there. And you can see just how much bigger he is next to Masterpiece Starscream. Now this is the Hasbro Starscream. So you can see how much bigger he is right there. Really cool looking. And if we stand them up next to each other, you can see just how much beefier he is too over here on the right compared to Starscream. Let's put him right there. So look at that. That's cool. Looks really neat. So pull Starscream off here. And I have Masterpiece G2 Sideswipe just to show you an MP car. It's not even the size of the backpack. The backpack is bigger than the car. So just again to show you just the sheer size of this thing. I mean, he can almost go underneath him right there. And he probably would if it wasn't for... There's a little bit of clearance issue, but for the most part, he can like sit underneath there. So, pretty cool. And then the very last thing I want to show it compared to... I didn't bring MP-10 and transform him. I have my 20th anniversary Masterpiece Optimus Prime, which would have been essentially the Hasbro version of the MP-01. And I have him with the... Which would have been, if they would have named it that, the FansToys 01. They made the trailer, which is this right here. This is the trailer for 20th anniversary Optimus Prime. So that's the first thing FansToys ever made, but they didn't call it FT-01. So just to show the size on that whole get up there with Prime to the end of the trailer is 21 inches long. So that's a big trailer. And if you have the oversized MP-10 and you have that trailer, it's about the same size as this one here. So taking this and putting Phoenix on top, and let me scoot him up because he'll hit the backdrop there. But moving him up, putting Phoenix on top, Phoenix can rest right up here. And just look how big that is right there. That's crazy. It's crazy big. So I wanted to show that off because I really like this trailer. I was able to get it, and that's, again, FansToys' first item that they ever made. So really cool looking there. All right, Prime, I'm going to get you to roll on out, and I'm going to get my final thoughts on this figure. So I get the trailer out, and 20th Prime going out. All right, so final thoughts on this figure. It's a great figure. Is it perfect? No, it's not 100% perfect. I don't think any figure is 100% perfect, even those that come from Takara. Just because there's always going to be something that someone can complain about. Always, 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 always. In this case, waist articulation. He doesn't have any. If he has some when it comes out, the final release, that's yet to be seen. But as far as right now, on this one, there's no waist articulation. That may be a big letback for a lot of you guys that like to get your figures in different poses. So that may not work out well. A few other things as far as like ankle tilts. I know he had like a small little ankle tilt, nothing major, but you know, that's something that may affect some of you guys when you want to do your different poses. Now he's going to be about $220. Do I think he's worth it? Absolutely. I believe he is because of his sheer size. His weight proportion is really well. The plastic quality is great on him. He just looks like a great figure, and this is an MP looking figure. Kronos never really was. He was kind of a stand-in with the MPs just because that's all that ever came out. But now that you see this one and FansToys makes it, you're like, wow, no, this is an actual MP quality figure here. So if you have Kronos, do I think you need to switch him out for this guy? I would say personally, yes. I was looking on eBay for the prices of Kronos, and people were trying to sell that guy still for between $175 to $300, and I think that's crazy. There's no way that guy goes for that much. I mean, maybe before he came out, yes, but now I don't think so. I think that's uncalled for that price for him. So if you have him, I suggest just getting rid of him and picking up this guy here. If you're happy with your Kronos, great. You know what? That's going to be your call. So I just wanted to give you my 2 cents on everything here, show you guys the comparison between the two of them, and let you decide which one you think is the best for you. Hopefully I went through everything and I was able to go into detail the differences of the two guys and let you guys see which one you think is better for you. If you like what I do, hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. And I'm going to put a link in the description below where you can order this guy from. And until next time, you guys, stay safe.